Hello everyone. Today's lesson is about zero power and power of powers. So let's begin with an example here. Pretend I have something like uh, 3 squared multiplied by 3 to the power 0. Now we've previously seen that if the base is the same, here the base is 3, then multiplication means we add the powers. So that would be a base of 3 to the power 2 plus 0. So we can write the power as 2. Now that's 9. 3 squared is 9, and that's the correct answer. So we'll give that a little tick. Now let's look at doing this again in a different way. We've got 3 squared multiplied by some unknown number, which I'll call, just put a box instead of where the 3 to the 0 was. And I know that that equals 9 because we just worked it out. Now 3 squared is 9 multiplied by something equals 9. Now whatever the mystery number is that goes in this box must be the same as 3 to the power 0 because that's where the box is. Now, what number could we put in this box to make this true? We could put the number 1, because 9 times 1 is 9. And that's really the trick to understanding this, that the number 1 is doing exactly the same job as 3 to the power 0. In fact, any number at all, let's use x, to the power of 0 equals 1, as long as the base x is not 0. Any number other than 0 to the power of 0 equals 1. And that's a very important idea that we will be using and that you need to remember. So that's the first big idea. Now let's go and do some couple of practice questions that use that idea. So here in example number 19 for part A, I'll copy this out, 10 to the 0 plus 5 to the power 0. Now check the base is not 0, so 10 to the power 0 is 1. 5 is, the base is not 0, 5 to the power 0 is 1. So this is really 1 plus 1. The answer is 2 for part B. Now there's a bracket, 4 times x to the power 0 multiplied by, and another bracket, 8xy to the power 0. Now, whatever x is, as long as x does not equal 0, x is a number times 4, that's just some other number, and any number to the power 0 is 1, multiplied by, this time x and y are numbers. Any numbers multiplied together make a fresh number, times 8 is some number. Any number to the power 0 is 1. So this time, 1 multiplied by 1, the answer is 1. Now let's try part C. I'll just move that little box there out of the way a bit so we don't get distracted by that. Move that out of the way. Okay, now let's come back to look at part C. We have 4 multiplied by x to the power 0 multiplied by 8x y to the power 0. Now this time, the 0 power just applies to the pronumeral x. There's no brackets like last time around the 4 as well as the x. And over here, the 0 power only applies to the pronumeral y, not to the x, not to the 8. There's no brackets for that. So when I write this down, the 4 will still be a 4. X to the power 0 is 1, multiplied by 8, multiplied by x, and y to the power 0 is 1. So now the numbers 4 times 1 is 4, times 8 is 32, times that 1 at the end is still 32, and that's still multiplied by x. So that's how we do 0 powers. Now, second idea, powers of a power. Let's have an example. Let's think of 3 squared, all in brackets, to the power of 4. Now we'll do this by writing it out. This is 3 squared multiplied by 3 squared multiplied by 3 squared multiplied by 3 squared, because the power 4 means to repeat the multiplication 4 times. Now we can use our addition rule for indices. These all have the same base and we're multiplying the terms. So it's really adding up all the powers. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Excuse me a sec. And now we can see all those 2's add to be a power of 8. Now that's the long way to do it. That's based in the idea of what we knew before. But the short way to do it is to look at the 2 numbers here. And we can see that if it's a power of a power, the 2 multiplied by the 4 gives the 8. And that's the rule for powers of powers. From now on, if we had something like 3 squared, all in brackets, to the power of 4, we would straight away go 2 times 4 in the power and write this as 3 to the power of 8. Let's have some examples of that. So for part A, 2 cubed to the power 5, that's a base of 2, power of 3 times 5, that's 2 to the power 15. Part B, now there's a bit more inside the brackets this time. There's a 5, and there's an x cubed, and then the bracket closes and everything is squared. So this will be the 5 is squared, and then the x cubed is also squared. So the normal 5 squared becomes the number 25. And 3 times 2 in there is going to be x with a power of 6. Multiply the powers. Power of a power, multiply the powers. All right, last one, part C. U squared to the 4th power, then multiplied by 7 u cubed, all to the power of 2. The first part here, power of 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. Then copy the multiplication. I'll have the number 7 squared, and then I'll have u cubed to the power 2. 2 and 3 multiply to be 6. Now 7 times 7 is 49. U to the power 8 multiplied by u to the power 6. Now here comes 2 things with the same base, multiplied the terms, we add the powers. 8 plus 16 is 14. So that's how we do powers of powers. And this one over here is how we do the 0 powers. Thanks for watching.